INTPs are often thoroughly engaged in their own thoughts, and usually appear to others to be offbeat and unconventional. Their mind is a most active place, and their inward orientation can mean that they neglect superficial things like home decor or appropriate clothing. They don't tend to bother with small talk, but can become downright passionate when talking about science, mathematics, computers, or the larger theoretical problems of the universe. Reality is often of only passing interest to the INTPs, as they are more interested in the theory behind it all. But with this intellect comes plenty of shortcomings. INTPs have what some might call a dark side. This video will show you the 5 dark side of the INTP that you may not have heard. Let's begin. Number 1. INTPs have a difficult time empathizing with others. The main downfall for most INTPs lies in the T. Instead of feeling, like several other personality types, INTPs are prone to neglecting emotional aspects of life, which leads to defects in their relationships with others. If you try to open up to an INTP with personal details and vulnerability, you might feel ignored or dissatisfied with their lack of feedback and investment in the conversation. They might come across as completely detached. It's not that they're cold per se, their emotional side is simply underdeveloped while their focus is on logic. They're problem solvers, so they might be able to offer a unique perspective or solution in lieu of empathy. Number 2. INTPs can become socially withdrawn and painfully uneasy in social settings. INTP personalities are socially withdrawn overall due to their focus on theories, work, and problem solving. In short, they live in their own heads and prefer to keep to themselves. They're introverts to the extreme. When given the opportunity to talk about a topic of their expertise, INTPs will elaborate freely, surprising coworkers and acquaintances who've been around them before. But small talk is nearly impossible for them. They become easily distracted by more interesting thoughts in their mind or happenings in the environment. They might come across as rude or condescending during conversations with less substance, even though they don't mean it. If you can engage them about a complex topic or new idea, they'll come out of their shells and thrive. Beware, however, that their thoughts on more complex topics seem convoluted or messy to outsiders. They might make sense and seem organized enough to the introspective INTP, but they always seem to come out jumbled in conversation. Number 3. Surprisingly, INTPs don't do well in debate. Engaging an INTP in a debate is extremely stimulating to them, and they'll thank you later. But their debate tactics aren't perfect. For instance, when debating or speaking on a topic that they aren't fully familiar with, an INTP will state assumptions and opinions as facts. They are eager to be fully informed, but might mistakenly misinform others during their quest for knowledge. They might also become overly analytical of their counterpart, correcting grammar, semantics and irrelevant details in a desperate attempt to come out ahead in the conversation. Since they take problem solving personally, it's easy for them to get frustrated when presented with evidence against their established theory. Number 4. INTP is the most likely to have addiction? It might seem like your INTP friends are lazy, but why is that? They're certainly smart enough to motivate themselves. They come across as lethargic to many due to their debilitating overload of self-doubt and fear of failure, and their internally focused thinking doesn't help. In fact, INTP is the most likely personality type, among college students to violate alcohol and drug policy, more likely self-medication than partying, and they tend to get lower grades than their generally high aptitude scores predict. They have trouble giving full attention during class, despite their love of learning and critical thinking, because they get caught up in the details and tangential thoughts. However, this doesn't really impede them as much in the workplace. Number 5. INTPs might struggle with close relationships. Finally, let's talk relationships. We've already established that INTPs aren't people, so, how do they navigate their friendships and romantic partnerships? Well, they're pretty picky. Their fear of rejection only allows them to get close to a lucky few who they believe that they can trust. INTPs also only care to put effort into long-lasting, and close relationships with people who live up to their intellect or, at least, can keep up with their logic and in-depth conversations. If you're romantically involved with an INTP, you probably know that it's a two-sided coin. While they get creative with ways to spice up the relationship and keep you guessing, they are quick to put themselves first and neglect your emotions. They have trouble putting themselves in your shoes, or they might not pick up on your feelings at all, so you need to tell them if you're upset. INTP holds a lot of mysteries, many of which could be considered a dark side of the personality. Being of one of the rarest personality types, INTPs strive to be understood better than they are, so it's imperative to be understanding of their quirks and the reasons behind them. Remember that while the general description of INTP is startlingly accurate in many circumstances, each INTP is an individual with his or her own, unique spin on the personality type. Don't just rely on the test, get to know them as individuals. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, share and like.